For part 2 of the course for surface and stitch, I began to think about drawing and drawing using my sewing machine or using different stitches and working into collages. This was based on some flower drawings that I'd done for the first part of the course, and I'd looked at some dried flowers that had a really lovely shape to them, and I translated that onto the papers that I'd manipulated and made, so my chance to have another go at collage, and the drawings that I had produced. And then for this piece, it's a lace piece that I'd spent a bit of time thinking about breaking down materials and repairing them and patching them, so I've got some patches on here, and I have my drawings that I had sewn here I have then translated onto this piece. But what was different about this piece was how I'd manipulated it. I spent a lot of time thinking about how I could manipulate materials and change it, and I became really interested in the structure. How could I break down a structure of a textiles material and almost break it down to fibres and make it fragile and delicate and build it back up again. And from this lace, I actually spent quite a bit of time soaking this in water, and I happened to be at the beach at the time, so it had a bit of coastal manipulation, and there are some pictures of this on the slides alongside this video, and really mixing this in with hard materials that actually damaged my textiles, and then sewed over the top. And what I really discovered and learnt was that actually the stitching became the technique that was holding it all together. It covered over the big empty gaps and became my joins again, and joined this material back together. And that was really, really interesting to me, how that I could break something and then repair it with my stitching, and bring it back together. And I read a lot about artists who part of their inspiration for textiles was retelling a story, having a story behind a piece but patching it back up, rejoining it together for a new story. And that's what I really felt for this piece of work, that it had been through all that coastal manipulation, but with my stitching I'd repaired it back together.